next to discuss a new organization in our area that focuses on the Pigeon Creek Watershed. We have Linda Freeman, the Vanderburgh County Surveyor. Linda, thanks so much for being here.
Well, thanks for having me. I hope I can get a little information out to the folks that are involved with this, that have gotten a bill for this, because we did start billing this year for the Pigeon Creek Watershed Development Commission.
Yeah, and I wanted to talk to you about what does that Watershed Development Commission entail? How did it begin? And kind of walk me through your role in that commission.
Well, it's watershed area, which is basically, you know, it's a very large area, and the water eventually gets to Pigeon Creek. So that's kind of what a watershed's all about. So in Vanderburgh County, Pigeon Creek has not been a regulated drain, or the county has not had a mechanism to be able to bill or work on Pigeon Creek. We didn't have jurisdictional rights over it. But now with this Watershed Commission, this is going to allow the Watershed Commission to, we started billing. People would have saw that on their property tax bill down here. And Pigeon Creek and a residential property would be billed for $7.
And when did that start?
This came out, their bills came out with your May property tax bill, and then it's $7 total, so people could pay $3.50 and $3.50 for their portion of the watershed. And
in layman term, Linda, where that money is going to enhance, I'm assuming, Pigeon Creek, the watershed, what do those enhancements look like? I'm assuming it's helping to prevent flooding. Walk us through, where is that money going?
Well, currently right now, because we are brand new, we're fledgling, by state statute, we shall have a work plan, which we have entered into an agreement, a contract with a consultant, one that is very familiar with the Pigeon Creek watershed, because they've done studies for Vanderburgh County, Gibson County, Warwick County, and so we've contracted with Christopher Burke Engineering, and they're going to do studies and work plans, and they're going to look over the creek and see what types of things that we can get done sooner with smaller amounts of money, and then look at larger projects as we get down the road. But we have just started billing, so, you know.
It could be some time, is what you're saying.
Yes, and I hate to say it, it is government. It takes us a little bit to get down the road, but
sure.
You know, it's a newly organized commission.
Walk me through the overall state of Pigeon Creek. Like, I know you can walk there along the Greenway. There's some access points, you can see it. Does it need a lot of cleanup or repair? What is the overall state of the creek?
There's been canoe trips up through there, and then, like I said, we do have the consultant that's coming. In fact, we're going to be doing site visits next week, October the 16th and 17th with them. They've already looked at some things. We are looking at, there are erosion, there are debris that's up against bridges and things that cause a problem there. Then some people feel that it's a refuse. So there's refrigerators and things that shouldn't be in there. And I wish people would understand that just because it's a ditch, creek, whatever, that doesn't mean you should dump your grass clippings, your tree limbs, and things like that, because it may not cause a problem right where you are, and it may wash down, but it's going to catch. And then it's, that little bit, and then another little bit, and then you end up with a blockage that causes problems for other people.
Why did you feel like this was something necessary to start right now? I know that we were just talking off camera. You've been with the Surveyor's Office since '82. Yes. You were elected as the Vanderburgh County Surveyor in 2020. Mm-hmm. Here we are now in 2025. And your time with that office, Linda, why right now is that it's so important?
Well, it wasn't as much as, it's been important. It's been in the minds of Vanderburgh County back in the 80s. The first county surveyor I worked for, it was something he was trying to get accomplished, trying to get it established as a regulated drain, trying to get it to be able to be funded, because that designation as a legal drain would allow the county to bill for the maintenance. But what has happened is in 2023, Indiana Code 14-30-5, Article 30.5, Watershed Development Commissions came into effect. So we, the county, myself, several other parties were involved with getting this started, and the initials we put in for to do this in 2023, and we got it established in September of 24.
You put in like an RFP or like a request, or like
Well, it was, you had to go through a certain procedure, and the biggest part of it was having public meetings and hearings, and then the Department of Natural Resources with Indiana Department of Natural Resources. You had to go through all these different procedures and meetings, and then we had to have I can't remember exactly what his title was, but we had a hearing officer, and it was kind of like a court case. The gentleman was sitting there, and he's like, so why should this happen? You know, and we had different people's testimonies, which is all spelled out in the report that we had to submit. And then they had a meeting in September, and we were approved.
And how rare, for viewers at home who might not be aware of this, like how rare is it to have a Watershed Development Commission?
We are the first in the state, and as far as I know, we're the only one of this particular
Wow.
under this particular statute. There are some other like watershed basins. They have a different name, but they were established in the code, and it specifies theirs, like Kankakee River Basin, and it spells it out. If you look in the Indiana code, it'll tell you all about that. Whereas this Watershed Development Commission statute allowed folks to do their own little thing based on very similar wordage as the other basins.
Yeah. And I know you touched on this briefly a little bit earlier, kind of about, you know, some of the debris perhaps in Pigeon Creek, some of that erosion, some of those things. But what is the overall vision for this commission? You know, I think we talked to about reducing flooding, but is there an overarching kind of vision that the work of this commission is expected to carry out and bring to fruition?
Well, part of that will be, you know, we're going to see that in the work plan that's going to be developed. So we're working with that consultant, and yet we would like to see it to be cleaner. We would like to see less flooding. I don't know, you know, we might be looking at obtaining storage areas. I mean, there's a lot of good things that could come out of this, and like I said, we're just kind of barely out of the woods on this because it just got September of 24, so we're what, October? We're
Just
a little over a
year,
year of
yeah.
being established, so.
Yeah. Walk me through that collaboration then. I know we've got a lot of community partners, right? Perhaps the first thing that comes to mind is a water utility, neighborhood associations. I know we're just over a year in. Is there any collaboration or anything that you guys are looking, even perhaps in the future down the road?
We had a survey sent out to what we would call like the more informed, you know, the other like county commissioners, the county highway engineers, other county surveyors, the previous county surveyors here in Vanderburgh County, but we did reach out to a lot of different people that would be more, and I'm not saying this, just the more knowledgeable of what has been going on in Vanderburgh County. And then on October the 27th at 11 o'clock
Which is a Monday, I believe.
It is a Monday. It's going to be a public stakeholders meeting starting at 11.
Okay.
So we're inviting we're going to get a letter out to the United Neighborhood of Evansville and get those neighborhood associations. We have had some of the folks that are involved with some of those neighborhood associations at some of our meetings, but we're going to be asking them to come and, you know, maybe they have some pictures, maybe they live on the creek, maybe they've experienced something that they could share with us, that we could share with our consultant. And
is that open to the public, or
it
just
will be
invite
open to the public,
So
yes.
the October 27th, 11 a.m. Where are we?
Room 301.
Room 301
In the Civic Center,
Civic
which
Center.
is the big
Okay.
room where
Sure.
the county commissioners, city council, county council meets. We have the capability to record it and televise it, or people could see it later. We're going to try to look at having people attend electronically if necessary.
What do you tell people at home watching, Linda, that think, you know, we're already getting hit with property taxes. This is just another fee now that we have to pay. What do you tell those people at home watching right now that are thinking, why? Why this and why now?
The now is, like I said, the capability, the opportunity became available that we could actually do something, and we're like I said, trying to look at what we can get done. For instance, we'd like to get a stream gauge. Right now, Vanderburgh County doesn't have a stream gauge on Pigeon Creek. It's been since the 80s that we had one. The closest one, a stream gauge, is in Fort Branch.
Wow.
Which a stream gauge would let you know about, how that water's rising. It's rising fast. Maybe you need to get it out, the information out to like your EMA, things like that, and just trying to make it a nicer and being able to do something for people, because currently, if something happens in the creek on your, like you live on the creek and trees fall in the creek, or somebody throws stuff in the creek and it ends up on your,
There's no way
shore,
to regulate or enforce.
It's yours.
It's yours.
It's
Okay.
yours. It's not, there had not been a government entity that could do anything about it. And we've had people that have spent substantial amounts of their own money to get things fixed.
Wow. And we know that that's going to be changing thanks to the work of you and your office
That
and
is
this commission.
That is a big hope of ours. And the worst part for me is that it has been a fledgling thing, and we're learning as we go as well. We are open to hear what's going on. And the people out there are the folks that are going to be able to bring that to us.
Great. And it sounds like you are making some progress. So Vanderburgh County Surveyor, I know we're out of time. I'm sorry, there's so much I could have you here for a whole half hour. Linda Freeman, thank you so much for making time. We appreciate it.
Thank you.